Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to you all in this webinar on the topic Inquiry Cycle in PYP. So first of all, let me introduce myself to you all. I am Anisha, your host for this webinar. I am a PYP facilitator in Wockhardt Global School, Aurangabad, Maharashtra. So now we will start our webinar. So what is inquiry cycle? So the inquiry cycle What is the inquiry cycle? The inquiry cycle is a process which engages students to ask and answer questions on the basis of collected information and which should lead to the creation of new ideas and concepts. The cycle of inquiry has 5 global steps. So these 5 steps are ask, investigate, create, discuss, and reflect. These are the 5 steps which we follow in our inquiry cycle. How does the inquiry cycle work? Next is, how does our inquiry cycle work? Okay. So the inquiry cycle encourages students to formulate questions and explore possible solutions. Within each phase, students are encouraged to ask questions and to develop deeper into the topic. The core of the cycle is reflection on personal understanding. What is the IB inquiry cycle? So, teachers in IB support the student-led inquiry with age-appropriate resources and activities to guide and structure the learning. It's an approach that works at every grade level to provide challenges for every student. The IB PYP's inquiry cycle consists of the following steps. So these steps are: the IB inquiry cycle consists of first is taking action. How does our inquiry take action? How does our learning help ourselves or others? Under taking action, it comes, how does our learning help ourselves or others? Second is making conclusion. Did our answer all of our questions? Going further is, how will we show our learning? Now next is types of inquiry cycle. So first we are emphasis on the types of inquiry in PYP. So there are some forms of inquiry that are commonly used in inquiry-based instructions. So that is structured inquiry. First is structured inquiry. So structured inquiry is used more frequently when a class is new to inquiry-based learning. Give them the chance to be a part of selecting the direction of the inquiry. The inquiry will be mostly planned and fun, collaborative task cards that develop research skill and creative. The second type of inquiry in PYP is guided inquiry. So this level of inquiry is used when a class is relatively new to inquiry or has carried out inquiries before and they are beginning to suggest their own direction. Demonstrate higher level of creative thinking and question their own questions. The next is open inquiry. So under open inquiry, this is used with students who are experienced inquiry and can direct their own process and learning entirely. independently or using the posters and cards of support themselves. And here there are some keywords are suggested here. I decide on the route, the schedule, and how long we can stop at each station. Under guided, I create this route, listen and observe, and include students in decision making during their journey. And in the last part, I ask where we should go and how we should get there. I ask questions and provide suggestion during the journey. Next is components of inquiry cycle. So most inquiry cycle consists of the following components. So first component is orientation. Introduce the learning topic and may be initiated by teachers, students, or even situations that stimulate learners' interest. Students are encouraged to ask questions such as, what do I already know about the topic? Do I have any experiences with this topic? What are my questions, feelings, and emotions about the topic? And what more do I want to know? And we call this tuning in. So under tuning in, it comes engage student in the topic. Next component of inquiry cycle is, and first I want to share some strategies with this also, that under tuning in, we can use some strategies. So these are provocation. So provocation we can use for our upcoming unit to unpacking the central idea, or we can use it in for line of inquiries, learner profile, attributes, key concept, skills. All under a new unit we can use this provocation. So or other activities which I suggest is I see, I think, I wonder. At the beginning of the year we can do large collaborative ones. Next activity is wonder wall. Next is mind maps, mystery artifacts, silent gallery walk. All these are the different suggestive activity we can use under this tune in component. The next component is finding out. So conceptualization begins with generating research queries and hypotheses and allows students to understand related concepts. They are encouraged to note their questions and ideas down before they begin their research. Students then begin gathering information. They are given freedom to use different resources to find the information they wish to seek. They are taught how to analyze whether the information they are finding is up to date and from a reliable source. So this is important, that your information should be update and reliable from a reliable source. At this point, it is important for them to consider other people's view on the topic. We refer to this as finding out. So this is called finding out. And under this, some suggested activities are reading non-fiction books, researching various topics related to the central idea, go on a trip, use your school library or media center. Next component is sorting out. During investigation or sorting out, students let their curiosity direct them towards exploration, experimentation, and data interpretation. They are given the opportunity to sort through their information and to analyze their findings. At this point, they may ask questions such as, student may ask different questions like, have I found the information I was looking for? Did it correlate with my hypothesis? Do I need to make any changes to my inquiry? And how can I connect this new information with what I know? This is an analytical topic in the cycle, and the students gain key skills. Under this sorting out, the suggested activities are comparing knowledge. It should be personal and peer. Organizing knowledge so far. So under that, it comes choose an app. You can use any app for that. Addressing any misconceptions, answering any questions or wonders which we have not covered yet, or timelines. All these examples are coming under sorting out. Next, Next is going further. Groups of students extend and personalize their learning during the going further stage. They come together to share their findings and to see if others can fill in any gaps in their research or give different opinions. They depict whether they think they have found enough information. And if not, they look at how they can find more. They then decide how they can show their information to others. Students collaborate in going further stage. And suggested activity for going further is choose one except of research, one photo or the left as a mind map. Already learned about this one choice. Students referred back to this to keep their research on track. Next activity is hands-on experience. We build and compare pyramids from various countries, Greek columns, Roman art, other activities where the students could experience to better relate to the ancient civilization they were studying. So all these activities are suggested for this going further components. Ensure all lines of inquiry have begun to be addressed. Now next is reflection. During discussion and reflection, students share what they have learned and then evaluate their inquiry process. This allows them to come to conclusion and sum up their thoughts and findings. They will decide whether they truly understand the topic and reflect on how well they feel. They have shared what they have learned with others. From here, they may choose to take action and sometimes they consider new questions to pursue. Some suggested activities are creating presentation as a final product. How will they show what they have learned? Showcasing in the real world and how they are using this in their real world. Now, next question is a look at inquiry in PYP. How the inquiry looks in PYP. As a one of the IB learner profile attributes, the IB defines an inquirer. As we nurture our curiosity, developing skills, or inquiring and research, we know how to learn independently and with others. We learn with enthusiasm and sustain our love to learning throughout life. Inquiry is much more than just research and asking questions. Inquiry is also to leading pedagogical approach of all three IB programs, as the IB states that. The IB believe that this is the way in which students learn best. Now we are focusing on a dynamic inquiry cycle by Kath Murdoch. This is the most famous and used inquiry cycle in IB. So in the PYP, a dynamic inquiry cycle supports us in our units. One of the leading writer on inquiry, Kath Murdoch, has an inquiry cycle we are discussing here. So the steps of her inquiry cycle is tune in, find out, sort out, go further, reflect, act. Are terms that many of our learners are familiar with, and we already discussed each and every component in our last part. Through our units, we inquiry with the support of this dynamic structure to build approaches to learning. Those are ATL skills, and gain knowledge as well as develop conceptual understanding and learner profile attributes. So this is the model of the Kath Murdoch inquiry cycle. Next comes inquiry cycle in action. So you may be wondering what an inquiry cycle look like in the classroom. While no two inquiry cycles are exactly the same, here is a general idea of what we do. To begin, students may suggest a research question. Sometimes the teacher poses one based on the student interest to stimulate discussion. Teachers support the student lead inquiry with age-appropriate resources and activities to guide and structure the learning. It's an approach that works at every grade level to provide challenges for every student. Inquiry involves both inductive and deductive reasoning and consists of several phases. Within each phase, students are encouraged to ask questions and to develop deeper into the topic. The core of the cycle is reflection on personal understanding. This is a skill that will be essential throughout our children's lives. The inquiry cycle encourages students to formulate questions and explore possible solutions. Although the process is similar to scientific inquiry, it can be applied to a variety of other subjects too. These basic skills learned within the inquiry cycle are easily transformed between subjects. Inquiry involves both inductive and deductive reasoning and consists of several phases. Within each phase, students are encouraged to ask questions and to develop deeper into the topic. The core of the cycle is reflection on personal understanding. This is a skill that will be essential throughout our children's life. Terminology describes the phases and the order in which they are applied may vary depending on the topic under investigation and the approach the teacher is using. Now the main thing is that what is the benefit of inquiry cycle in PYP? So research shows that students have better academic outcomes when they learn through inquiry rather than traditional methods such as memorization. Students develop a deeper understanding of the material than they would by simply listening to a lecture or reading a textbook. In reality, the inquiry cycle is just a natural part of human curiosity. We are often using this cycle in our daily lives without even recognizing it. By making learning into an organic process, students are better able to fully understand the topic they are studying. Furthermore, inquiry cycle provides students with an enhanced sense of accountability. As they contribute as members of a group, additionally, students' access to technology can optimize the inquiry process. As learners use web-based resources to fine-tune their hypotheses and locate relevant information. The inquiry cycle encourages students to formulate questions and explore possible solutions. Although the process is similar to scientific inquiry, it can be applied to a variety of other subjects too. These basic skills learned within the inquiry cycle are easily transferable between subjects. Inquiry involves both inductive and deductive reasoning and consists of several phases. Within each phase, students are encouraged to questions and to develop deeper into the topic. The core of the cycle is reflection on personal understanding. This is a skill that will be essential throughout our children's lives. Terminology describes the phases and the order in which they are applied may vary depending on the topic, under investigation and the approach the teacher is using. Now next is how can I support my child in inquiry? So here are some suggestions that wonder, inquire together. This is the first thing, that spend time wondering together with your kids. Altogether, children have many questions. Why not find out together and make some connection to questions that interest both of you as a teacher and as a student. Spark that love of learning to show you enjoy inquiring as well. Next is spend time in nature. So nature has so many wonders. This is often a space where our wonders begin. Develop an inquiry mindset. So reflect on the graphic above and consider how you approach questions. Next is do not know the answer. Show your child that you don't know the answer to everything. That is part of the excitement of being an inquirer. There is so much to know and it is fun to find out, make connections and apply that knowledge. The following are 3 great websites that we can suggest, that is Wonderpolis, The Kid Should See This, and TED Education. We can use all these suggested websites in our inquiry. when we are doing inquiry in our classroom. So we can use these things. So in the conclusion part, I would like to share only that through the inquiry cycle, students explore new knowledge and ideas in authentic contexts. So developing critical thinking and problem solving skills to help them become successful for a future unknown. This type of learning ignites a passion for gaining knowledge and skill that will stay with them throughout their lives. So by the help of these inquiry cycle, they should become the lifelong learners. So now this is from my side. Now this is QA. So anyone if want to ask any question, anyone from the audience? Yes, now next I am sharing. Yes. Now for your reference, I am sharing this bibliography for your references. That is all from my side. Any queries, any questions if you want to ask anyone?